All right, you guys, and welcome to Fuel for Soul. I'm your host, G, and this is my co-host,
Astina.
We are so happy to shoot one of our second most important messages today to everybody out there. We appreciate all of our survivors for checking out our views on YouTube Studio and TikTok Studio. So today we had a couple special topics. One of them that we wanted to start with is when truth turns on you, right? When your life changes without your permission. But first, we're going to talk about when truth turns on you. Just so our survivors understand what I mean by that, I'm going to let my co-host knock this out. So what does that kind of mean to you when truth turns on you?
I feel like when truth turns on you, I feel like each and every one of us individuals are facing uncomfortable realities with themselves or the world, which can lead to shame or us feeling lost.
Okay. So as you guys can tell, when truth turns on you, I'm going to take exactly what she said and kind of give you my share or my take on it. So when truth turned on me or some of my friends, family members, coworkers, or even like next door neighbors, right? It would be something more like you going to a doctor's visit and you're hoping to get good news and the doctor tells you the truth, but it's the opposite of what you want to hear. As you're thinking you may have a cure, there's no cure. If you're thinking maybe this surgery will save this body part or protect you from whatever the case may be, or it's kind of like you seeing a close friend or a neighbor come up to you and you're thinking they're coming to shed some good news, and all of a sudden it's an unfortunate calamity. So when the truth turns on you. So have you ever had something happen to you where something of those sorts or whatever you just shared with our survivors, whether it be with a family member, friend, or with you personally, has anything like that ever came out and kind of shocked you by the truth turning on you?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. It was this past summer. My youngest brother, he did something that I felt so betrayed, and I would have never thought like he would do that to me. And because I loved him so much, I was like being in denial. So, I was like in an illusion. Like I painted this image of him who I wanted him to be, but unfortunately, what he did, this is just who he is as an individual, and I had to accept it. So it was hard for me.
Right. So just accepting the fact that someone close to you, especially a sibling or a parent or somebody you really admire, it's so devastating, and it could be a bit traumatic if you really feel something like this, right? Coming up, looking up to somebody, trying to be a mirror of what you think is perfection or what you think is where you want to be, that ceiling, that level, right? Those things could really harm you, and these things can keep you stuck. So when the truth turns on you, this is something you guys got to accept, whether a family member gets sick and they can't save them from chemo or something like that. So when I talk about when the truth turned on me, I'm going to say the truth turned on me when a family member of mine at a young age, I was really young, like 13 or something like that, they put me out on the street for something crazy. I think they were involved with some form of substance, and they put me out at 13. I was homeless, sleeping in refrigerator boxes, all types of things, right? Just trying to make a difference. So just to be a young kid, not even in high school, still in junior high, trying to figure out how I'm going to come out of a situation when I barely even know what I'm going to do on a day-to-day basis. So when the truth turns on you, I want you guys to keep in mind that you always got to focus on something called the current, right? In the current, even parts of your past can come back and tap you on the shoulder or pull on your coattail and give you some form of reality. And keep reality as a long version of what's real. So when we talk about what's real, right, the truth is really real. Is there anything that comes to mind when you think about reality and how the truth can turn on you?
Yeah, it's scary because eventually You have to stop hiding. You have to face it. That's what reality is, because we keep running. We're constantly being in denial and we don't want to accept it. So we either have to face it in order to grow and be free, or we have to keep battling the internal conflict, which is illusion.
So as you guys can see that she's talking about illusions, right? Sometimes in life, the truth will turn on you when you've put your faith or you relied on someone or a group of people to be there for you in your time of need. We call it support, right? So the truth will turn on you when you think these people are going to support you in your darkest moments, in your most challenging times. And then you find out they're very self-serving, right? And you're going, everything that I did for you, right? Let's just talk about things that we do for people, right? Everything that I invested or poured into you, you don't even pour a breadcrumb or 1 cent. And then the moment I ask you for something, you just act like it's a burden or a chore. Have you ever felt like a burden or a chore when it comes to a form of truth of somebody returning what you poured in?
No, because I don't ask somebody for nothing. I think I'm too prideful. Yeah, but I'm always the one, I will give my last and no one would even know. Like my cousin or friend, like recently, I just had a cousin who needed something. She was in a drought, so I helped her out. Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay you back XYZ."
Right.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Like she hasn't, but like I'm listening to what she's saying. Like I'm hearing what you're saying. You know what you got to pay me back. I'm not gonna tell you, but you know I still love her though. Of course, like I'm a genuine giving person. So
Right.
yeah, but I've never put myself in that predicament because I don't want it being thrown back in my face. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can definitely relate. And I'm sure our survivors, you guys can all relate to being somebody who's been very giving, and you put your best foot forward, and then you figure out when it comes to that moment, you already know, or you're figuring this out as you progress in your journey, that these individuals aren't equally yoked, or they're not going to reciprocate or show reciprocity in a form of, just giving back to you without anything in return. So one thing I will say is I'm usually a person who kind of has this mini robust, vast point of wisdom. And I have a lot of people tending to lean on me and rely on me when it comes to certain things that they don't have periods or answers to. A lot of people are stuck in these question marks. They're stuck in these things because they won't progress and just put a period there and just accept it to be what it be. They usually go back in the same chapter and they keep rereading something as if they skipped a word or they missed some form of point in the story when really they're writing the story. So to my survivors, I want you guys to understand that, when a chapter in your book or your story comes out to be something that you go, this is the worst part of my life, or this is the most foolish, naive part of my life, or this is a part of my life that I said yes when I know I should have said no. Have you ever been put in that predicament, or do you know somebody? What do you have to say about that? What's your thoughts on those types of things?
Plenty of times, because you feel like it's the end. Like, it's crazy. But it's like, I have to remind myself, like, sometimes, like, an ending can be a new beginning.
Absolutely.
So it's not always about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about growing and rediscovering and learning yourself, and maybe others as well, because we all have our flaws and secrets. So it's like that. A lot of us be shameful. That's why we try to hide from the truth, because we can, once again, be in denial, and we don't want to be exposed, because that saying, everybody has skeletons in their closet.
Yeah,
everyone wants to be accepted. No one likes to be judged.